What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel, Mo Hunt Silver. For tonight's video, we're going to have another two-box nickel hunt. This will be Nickel Hunt and Fill number 30 of the series, boxes 44 and 45. They are Loomis boxes, so I did have to open them to make sure they are circulated. And we sure do have circulated nickels, but I did not see any older enders on any of the rolls, so we'll just have to see what is hiding in here. We did make it up to 176 of the possible 194 spots in our Jefferson Nickel albums to fill, and I'm hoping we can find at least one more in this video, because our last video we found a 2025 Denver and also a key date 1938 San Francisco. So that was a pretty good hunt, and I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner for you guys to check that out. But in these two boxes, we're going to be looking for anything for the albums: Buffalo nickels, V nickels, proofs, errors, varieties, foreigns, anything you can think of really that you could possibly find hiding in nickels. So yeah, I'm going to get everything set up here and we'll get into it. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. So we'll hunt these boxes in the 5-roll increments, just like my penny hunts. And I will be back for a recap after each set of 5 rolls, unless I find something sweet. All right, guys, the first set of 5 rolls didn't start off too bad. Actually, roll number 1, I had two 1939s. They're both Philadelphias, and I did check them under the scope, and unfortunately, they're not the DDRs. So no luck there, but that's all right. We'll still hold on to them. And then we did find a 1957 out of Denver and a 1958 out of Denver that's actually not in bad condition for how I usually find them. This one looks pretty good. Still has decent detail on the reverse yet, too. You can actually see there might have been a step there or two not too long ago. And then we also found a foreign, and it's going to be a 20 pence. And I believe this is from Great Britain, and it's a 2012 year. But that's pretty cool, the way they shape them like that. And I like this design. That looks really nice. So we'll move on to set number 2. And, well, I'm going to bring you guys back real quick in the start of the second set. Roll number 6. Third coin in. And I have a Buffalo in front of me. And this one looks like it is pretty old. Pretty old. That might actually have a mint mark down there too. Yeah, it kind of looks like there is a mint mark there. All right, will there be a date? Will there be a date? Oh boy, that is a tough one. Oh man, I might hit that with nick a date for just a second or two. But I think I almost see a 28 there. But it could be an 18 too. All right, let me nick a date this real quick, and I will be right back. I nick-a-dated this Buffalo nickel. I hit it a couple times, actually 3 times, for very short amounts of time. And I really wish we did not have to nick-a-date this one, because it actually had a pretty high value. I don't know if you guys can see it. Trying to get it in the light here. But that is a 1913. So this will be a first-year Buffalo nickel with the Denver mint mark, and it is the Type 2. So if we go over to our red book, which is right here, 1913 Denver, Variety 2, 4.1 million. But look at the values. It starts at $130 in a G4. That is quite amazing. And at the same time, a huge bummer that this one had to be nickedated. Huge bummer. Because I believe that this will be a semi-key date. Buffalo nickel. There you can see it, 1913. With a D mint mark. Type 2. The 5 cents is recessed, and the buffalo is not on the mound. Oh, man. That sucks we had to nickedate that one. But I know we definitely need that for the book. And I'm going to have to check at the end of the hunt, because I might possibly need that one for my book as well. My personal book. What a bummer. All right, we'll keep moving though. And if I don't find anything else crazy like this, I'll be back at the end of the 5-roll set. Set 2 is now hunted. And this was a dandy 5-roll set. We got a total of 6 finds out of this 5-roll set. And we did get 1 foreign, a 1986 out of Canada. We also found 2 2024 Philadelphia nickels. Those are low mintage. We found a 1941 that is going to be a Philadelphia. And then I didn't film this when I found it because it was in the last roll, roll number 10. But we did find a die clash. You can just barely see Jefferson's eyes underneath the steps of the building right here, if this camera's going to focus. There you can see them. And this is on a 2023 Philadelphia. So that's cool. Minor mint error. Little die clash right there. And then the find of this set, and probably the hunt maybe, we'll just have to see. But it's going to be our 1913 Denver Type 2 Buffalo nickel. And this is a semi-key date. So that is sweet. And I do not have this one in my album, my personal album. So this one will have to go in there. And I will have to find a replacement for our series album. But that is sweet. All right. So that was a really good set. Now we'll move on to set number 3, rolls 11 through 15. Set number 3 will give us 4 more finds for the board. 2 of them are going to be 50s, Jefferson nickels. We have a 1954. And that one is a Philadelphia example. And then a 1959, which is a Denver example. And then I'm happy to say we found our first 2 examples of the 2025 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel. And this one here actually looks better than the other one on the mat there. But this is going to go into the book because we have not found the 2025 Philly yet. So that's sweet. We'll have an addition for the album, for the Jefferson nickel album. And we'll move on to set number 4. Roll 17, or roll number 2 in set 4. I already saw what this was on the reverse, but that's why I'm bringing you guys in. All right, we have a 1938 Jefferson nickel, and you can see it's fairly well circulated. But when I flipped it over, look at that. We have a Denver mint mark. So this will be a key or semi-key date Jefferson nickel. And I believe we already have the 38 Denver for the book. The one we're really going to need is the 39 Denver, I believe. And then we'll have everything from the 30s in the set. But that's sweet. This is another low mintage nickel. I believe there's only 5.2, 5.3 million, something like that, of these minted. But that's awesome. That's going to be a second key date nickel in this hunt so far, and we're only 17 rolls in. Set number 4 was another pretty good set. We have 5 pre-1960s Jefferson nickels. We got 2 from the 40s, and 1941. This one is going to be a Philly. And then we also have a 1941 that is going to be a Denver. Then we found 2 from the 50s, a 1952, which is a Philadelphia, and then a 1954, which is going to be a Denver with a dent and a huge scratch. And then we also found the key or semi-key date, 1938, Denver. So again, another very good set. And we'll move on to set number 5. Set number 5 will give us 4 more pre-60s Jefferson nickels. 1940 will be the first one with, it looks like, some damage at the date. And that's going to be a Philadelphia. Then we have a 1946 out of Denver. And a 1948 out of Philly. And then for the 50s, we have a 1953 out of Denver. So that'll do it for that set. And we can move on to set number 6. All right, roll 27, I believe, is going to give us some silver. I just unwrapped the roll and laid them down. This one had an odd color to it. And I saw in the shadow a P mint mark, which, yes, we do. That is going to be a 35% silver wartime nickel. And this one is minted in Philadelphia. And it's not in bad shape on the reverse, honestly. Let's see what we have for a date. And that's going to be a 1944. Alrighty. Awesome. So now we have silver for this hunt as well. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, guys. I'll get back to it here and see what else we can find. Set number 6 will give us 4 more pre-60s Jefferson nickels, one of them being silver. We have a 1939, and that is going to be a Philadelphia. This will be the third one that we found in the hunt so far. And again, not the DDR, just a regular 39. Then we had a 1941, pretty beat up, out of Philly. And a 1957 out of Philly as well. And then our 1944 Philadelphia silver wartime nickel. All right, so we can move on to set number 7 and hope for some more goodies. Roll number 31 is going to give us another slick buffalo nickel. This one is way slicker, or more slick, I guess I should say, than the first buffalo nickel of the hunt. Oy. Yeah, I'm going to have to nicketate the crap out of this one probably, and the reverse as well, to see if we have a mint mark. Man, that's going to be tough. All right. Let me do that, and I'll be right back. All right, after nickedating that buffalo nickel, we are going to have a 1920. It's going to be a 1920 buffalo nickel from Philadelphia. And she is slick, like I said. Very, very slick. All right, though. We'll keep moving on here. See if there's anything else in these rolls. And finish out the set. And I'll be back with a recap for set number 7. Roll number 33. You guys, we're going to have a second war nickel in this box. We have another Philadelphia mint mark above the building. And this one is also going to be a 1944. All right, 1944 Philly. That is sweet. Set number 7 was an amazing set. It gave us 4 finds. 2 of them are going to be copper nickel, 40s Jefferson nickels. We have a Type 1, 1942, and that is going to be a Philadelphia. The Denver's the much harder one to find. And a pretty trash 1947 out of Denver. And then as far as our other 2 finds go, we had the second 1944 Philadelphia silver wartime nickel and a pretty slick 1920 Buffalo. That's from Philly. So this is turning out to be a very, very good box so far. And we're going to have to see what's hiding in the last 15 rolls here. But I'll be right back as soon as I have row 800. Roll 37. Guys, I cannot make this up. I just unwrapped this roll and flattened them down. Coin number 3. Look at that. Oh, man. Oh, man. That is going to be a slick V-nickel. Wow, wow, wow. All right. Well, what do we have for a date? And that's going to be a 1907. All right. Like I said, pretty slick. I'll put a mintage below on what the 1907 has. But that is sweet because now we're going to have, I believe, the trifecta for the hunt. We got a V nickel, Buffalo nickels, and silver. Huh. This is a crazy, crazy box. And we still have 13 rolls to go yet. Oh my gosh. Set number 8 will give us 2 finds. First one will be a 1949 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel. And then the find of this box now so far is going to be a 1907 V-nickel. Incredible. All right, so we can move on to set number 9. Set number 9 is going to give us a single 1940 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel. All right, so we can move on to the last 5 rolls and see what this box will finish us out with. The last 5 rolls of box number 44 will give us 3 more finds, one of them being a foreign that I'll cover in just a second. But we did find a 1946 out of Philly, a pretty beat up 1952. That one is going to be out of Denver. And then the third foreign for this box and second Canadian, well, we have a 1984. So I'll be right back with a wrap up for this amazing box. This box gave us a total of 38 finds up here on the desk. And 6 of them that I have at the bottom are pretty amazing. But we'll get into what we got here real quick. We got a total of 4 from the 30s. One of them is down below. A total of 14 from the 40s and 9 from the 50s. We did get 3 foreigns in this box. One of them being from Great Britain. And then the second 2 down at the bottom here are from Canada. We did find our first 2 examples of the 2025 Philadelphia in circulation. One of them will be going into the book. We also found 2 2024 low mintage Philadelphias and a 2023 with a die clash mint error right there. And then for our great finds of this box, we got 2 silver war nickels, both of them being 1944 Philadelphias. We found one key or semi-key date, 1938 Denver, Jefferson nickel. And then 2 Buffalo nickels, one of them being in 1920 Philadelphia. And then the second one being a heartbreaker right here, but it's a 1913 Type 2 Denver, which is also a semi-key date Buffalo nickel. And then the find of the box is going to be our 1907 V nickel. So this was an amazing box, and I'm hoping that box number 45, which I have right here, will be a continuation, because again, this box has no enders, but you can definitely tell that it's circulated. And there's a good mix. So we'll see what we can find in box number 45, and I'll be right back with that hunt. Set number 1 of box 45 will give us 4 pre-60s Jefferson nickels, oldest one being in 1940 out of Philadelphia. And then we have a 1952 that is going to be out of Philly with damage in the mint mark area. I don't know why somebody did that or how it happened. And then we had 2 1959 Denvers, and this one is going to be the much better looking one. All right, so we'll move on to set number 2. 5-roll set number 12 for the hunt will give us 4 more pre-60s Jefferson nickels. Oldest one for this set is going to be a 1948 out of Philly. And then we have 3 from the 50s, a 1956 out of Philly, a 1957 out of Philly, and a 1958 out of Denver. We move on to set number 13 and see what else we can find. 5-roll set number 13 for the hunt is going to give us a 1946 out of Philadelphia, and that's going to be it for that set. So we can move on to set 14, and hopefully we can find something good. Set 14 will give us another one find, and it's going to be a 1940 out of Philadelphia. They give us 4 40s so far for this box, and we can move on to set 15. Roll 21 of box number 2, or box 45 of the series. I did not even see this one by the edge because it is really slick and worn, but we are going to have a silver wartime nickel with a San Francisco mint mark this time. And that's going to be a 1943, that looks like. Really slick and worn. But that's sweet. 35% silver. We'll keep hunting. Set 15 of this hunt will give us 6 more finds. We did find our first foreign of this box, and I'm not sure what the year is, but this is going to be from the United Arab Emirates. I have found these before. Pretty cool shaped coin there. Now we did find a 1939, and this will be a Philadelphia, not in bad shape, and unfortunately not the DDR. We did find our one silver, the 1943 San Francisco. It's 35%. Then we also found a 1954 out of Denver. And I believe this is a second 1954 out of Denver. Yep. And a 1957 out of Denver as well. So we can move on to set number 16. Set number 16 will give up 2 more pre-1960 Jefferson nickels. We have a 1941 out of Philly and a 1955 out of Denver. Not bad. So we'll move on to set number 17. Set number 17 will give us 3 more pre-60s Jefferson nickels. First one will be a 1940 out of Philadelphia. And the second one is also going to be a 1940 And this one will be out of San Francisco. That is pretty slick. And then we also found a 1958, pretty trashed, from Denver. So we can move on then to set number 18. Roll 36 in box number 2. It's going to give us another sweet find. We're going to have another silver nickel. We got a 1943. And let's see what we have for a mint mark. And that will be a Philly. That's not in bad shape, honestly. So we can check that for the 3/2, which I do not see there, or the doubled I, which again I don't see. But that's pretty sweet. That's going to be the 4th silver nickel for the hunt. Set 18 will give us 5 more pre-60s Jefferson nickels. We're going to have 2 40s up here at the top, a 1946 from Denver with some gunk and a scratch, and then a 1947 out of Philly, pretty heavily circulated as usual. Then we have a 1953 out of Philly with a bunch of scratches, and a 1955 out of Denver. And then the find of this set is going to be our 4th silver for the hunt, or 2nd for this box. Not a bad condition. 1943 Philly. Awesome, awesome. We'll move on to set 19 and see what else we can find. Set 19 will give us 4 more pre-60s Jefferson nickels. Oldest one in this set will be a 1940 out of Philadelphia. And then we're going to have a 1956 out of Philly. A 1958. That's pretty beat up, out of Denver. And then a 1959 out of Philadelphia, which is a tougher one to find. So that's not a bad set. We'll move on to the last set, set number 20, and see what else we can find in these last 5 rolls. Well, that's going to do it for box number 45 of the series. The last 5 rolls did not have any finds in it, so we will do a wrap up for this box, and this box is going to give us a total of 32 finds. We have a lot of older Jeffersons here, and 2 silvers that I'll cover at the end of the wrap up here in just a second. We did find 1 foreign, which is going to be our United Arab Emirates coin that I am not 100% on what that is called. I'll have to look that up. We did find 1 from the 30s, 1939 Philly. Then we got a total of 12 from the 40s and 16 from the 50s. And then our 2 finds of this box are going to be our 2 silver war nickels, which are both 1943s. But this one is a San Francisco, and this guy is a Philadelphia. Not in bad shape. And then a couple bright and shinies. At least better condition nickels there that we can compare to the albums right after the full hunt wrap up, which I will get into in just a second, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back for the wrap up. Nickel Hunt and Fill number 30 is going to finish us off with a total of 68 finds up here on the board. We did get a total of 4 foreign coins. And then we got 5 total from the 30s, which one I'll cover at the end. We got a total of 26 from the 40s. And then a total of 25 from the 50s. And then our finds of the hunt, which are down here on the mat. We did get 2 2024 Philadelphias. Those are low mintage. And then we found the first 2 of our 2025 Philly examples, at least the ones that I've come across in circulation, so that is awesome. We did get 1 minor mint error, the 2023 Die Clash, which you can see underneath the building there, Jefferson's eyes. And we got a total of 4 silver nickels, 2 from 1944 and 2 from 1943. None of which we need for the book because we have all those dates and mint marks, but we are missing a couple still. And then down on the bottom, Excuse me. We're going to have a key or semi-key date, 1938, Denver. First year Jefferson nickel right there. And we did find 2 Buffalo nickels. First one being in 1920 Philadelphia that we had to nicodate. And then the second one being a much better find, and unfortunately we had to nicodate it, but a 1913 Denver Type 2 in the recessed ground. And this is also a key or semi-key date in the Buffalo nickel series, which, if it wasn't nickodated and had a little bit better detail, would have been worth about $100, honestly, even in really worn condition. And then we found a 1907 V-nickel. That's going to be 118 years old, I believe. So that is a awesome and outstanding find right there. And this was a crazy hunt, especially box number 44 of the series. I can't believe how much good stuff we found in that box. So this was a stellar hunt, and they usually don't go this well, because like box number 45 of the series was a pretty slow box, although we did find 2 more silver nickels. So now the last thing to do is to get out our albums, and we can make our additions and see if we have any possible upgrades. So I'll be right back. Here's the results for today's hunt. We did add 2 more spots to our Jefferson nickel albums, the 1994 Denver and a 2025 Philadelphia. And we also made 1 upgrade, and it was a silver nickel, wartime, the 1943 Philly. And we also made a great addition to our Buffalo nickel album, the 1913 Denver Type 2 on the recessed ground. And now we'll take a look at our coins, which that is our 13 Denver Type 2 right there that we found today. I did have to nicodate it, but still a great addition. And then our second addition for the hunt is going to be our 94, which is right here. Finally found a good one, or one that looks decent. So we'll see how long it is before I have to pull that one out of there, because we found a better one. Could be a while. And then our last addition for today's hunt is going to be the 2025 Philadelphia. We found 2 examples of that, and that is the nicer one that we found. And then as far as upgrades, we have our 1943 Philadelphia silver wartime nickel. This is the example that was in the spot, and that is the one that we found today, which looks much nicer. So I can now put that over here with the other 3 silver nickels, giving us a total of 4 for the hunt. And they can go into our silver jar. So that is a look at how our books are coming along so far. If I can get it all in there. It doesn't even fit on the desk. There it all is. But we've gotten pretty far along in our Jefferson nickel albums, and we're starting to make a pretty good dent in the Buffalo nickel album here as well. So I'm very happy with the way this is going. And if you guys are enjoying it, please give it a thumbs up for the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate every one of you. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. I'm going to get out of here and have a good one. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.